Today we're going to look and see what is on our fabric and thread key. So hopefully you have it printed up and in your binder. And so we will talk about the two different layouts. This is the diamond quilt layout because it's a beautiful diamond. And over here we have the strip quilt layout. So the fabric and thread key will take us through all the different layouts, all the different block sizes, and show us what fabrics we need. So let's get going.
So this is your fabric and thread key, and a lot of this information we've covered already, so I will just highlight what we haven't. On this area right here, you'll notice there's block sizes for large and for small. The block size for the large is 13.54 by 7.9, but the file size is smaller. The file size is 11.73 by 6.78. The reason the file size is smaller is, as you can see right here, we've put it on an angle in the hoop to get the best use out of your hoop area. So you can stitch a much larger block in a smaller hoop. The same with the small block size. The file size is actually 7.4 by 4.7, so you should be able to get that in a smaller hoop very easily. So determining the block that you're going to stitch will very much depend on what size your machine will accommodate. And we also already talked about the different backing options. You can do a one-piece back, or you can do the piece back in the hoop as you're going. So determine that first before you pick out your fabric or purchase your fabric as well. Here's a list of all the threads you will need. And then we have a page for your large diamond quilt. This is for your large block. And then your large diamond quilt with extended background. So all we did for that one is add more background to get a larger quilt. On all of your quilts, we have mentioned that you can get jelly rolls or strips of fabric. It tells you how much background fabric you need to purchase. This is your backing for your sashed back option. This is done in the hoop. This is the sashing. So this would be one backing method right here, or you will choose the one-piece back option. You will not do both. You need one or the other. The one-piece back option will take less fabric because it's like a regular quilt where you just measure your quilt, piece your, if you have to put a seam in the back to get it to fit. But this one takes a little bit more because you're cutting it into diamonds and you're putting them on while they're in the hoop. We have your optional wool, and then we have your battleizer. So this is for the large diamond quilt, and you can see the finished measurements are also on here. These numbers here, or these page numbers here, refer to, if you go to that page, which we will in a minute, it'll show you a diagram of the quilt. This is all the yardage requirements for the small diamond quilt. We have the one you see right here. We have the one with the extended background. And then we have another option where we did 16 blocks per diamond point. So this right here I'm referring to as a diamond point. This has 4 blocks in it. If you want to make a much larger star, you can make 16 of these blocks to create this one point. So you'll see this layout on page 10. And again, we have all the fabric options. We need your jelly rolls or your strips of fabric. We need your background fabric. We have your option for your piece or your backing while done in the hoop with the sashing, or the one-piece back option. Again, you will not do both. The binding, I forgot to mention, we did use the leftover strips from our jelly roll, and we did a scrappy binding, which I loved. It was really cute. Optional wool and battleizer. And now this is the strip quilt layout. So we have 2 options for that. We've got the one you see here, this particular layout, or you can basically take this times 4 and make a very large quilt. So these are all your fabric requirements with the jelly rolls or your strips of fabric, your background fabric, which will be this white that you see that they're laying on, your 2 different backing options again for your sashed back or your one-piece back, and then the binding. Of course, we did use the scraps from our jelly rolls, optional wool and battleizer. Same thing with the small strip quilt layout, or the small strip quilt layout times 4. So you get a much bigger quilt, same fabric yardages right here for your small quilt layout. And this is what they were referring to in the other instructions. This is like a line drawing, so you can see exactly what we're talking about. This is the 4 blocks per diamond point. This one is 1 block, 2, 3, and 4. So there's 4 per diamond point. And it's a line drawing, so if you want to do a little coloring with some color pencils or crayons, you can try to plan out your fabrics. This is the 4 blocks per diamond point with extended backs. You can see all we did was add more background blocks to get a bigger quilt. This is your 16 blocks per diamond point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, another row of 4. We have 4 rows of 4, which makes 16 blocks per diamond point. And then this is the background. Here's your strip layout, and here's the strip layout times 4. So that's our fabric and
So hopefully all that information on the fabric and thread key was helpful to you. So next week we can look forward to some ideas on fabric choices. We'll see you then.